Hey,
Vsauce.
sorry for not posting in a while. Also, thank you guys so much for almost 2.2 thousand subscribers now. I just think it's absolutely insane how all of you guys came to my channel and decided to subscribe only for my shitty tutorials and stuff. So as a reward, I can show you guys how I did the vocal chops for the Turn Up remake, because I got many comments on how I did it. Many people also asked me how I do vocal chops and stuff, and I simply do it the same way as Riot does, because he has shown it a dozen times and I didn't really think it was worth going over because he's shown it so many times, but I realized that maybe people in FL and stuff would want to know how to do it. Also, I've switched to a new DAW, so I've switched to Ableton for a couple of reasons. First of all, you can make the biggest and sickest effects chains in the whole world. The default effects are actually really good, like the multiband compressors and the phasers and stuff. I also like the workflow in Ableton very much. And I feel kind of burnt out on FL because I've used it in so many years now. And I think it's fun to try something new, so... But don't worry, videos will still contain in FL Studio, because I bet many of you guys subscribe to me and stuff because you are an FL user, so it would make sense for me to just switch over to Ableton and just leave you guys alone in the dark. But if you guys would want some Ableton tutorials, I could try so. So, since so many of you guys were asking, here's the raw thing with auto-tune and stuff. So the original acapella, as shown on Virtual Riot's old ass stream from like 2014, is just an acapella from the 0G Vocal Forge, I think. Either from the Vocal Forge or the Vocal Foundry. It's this one.
Teach us tonight, because we're searching for the sign. You are the reason. Though our world has come.
And in this part, this is like the...
Though our world has come.
And that's like the part before the drop.
Because we're searching for. Oh, our world has come.
So if you guys aren't really familiar with making vocal chops, or if you can't simply manage to do them, I can show you guys how I started out. So we're in a new project. I'll choose this one.
And now I'm free to do whatever I choose.
We're gonna put this in a playlist. What we're gonna do now is open up a harmor or whatever you want, and then you just have this square wave or saw wave. And then you gotta make a melody for what you wanna put vocal chops on. Okay, so this is my melody. First we're gonna route this to a track. Then we're gonna put some effects on this, like an OTT, just because it makes it sound way more crispy and stuff. Then we can put on some reverb. I like to use Valhalla Room. Put the decay on like, I don't know, 1 or 2 seconds. Depth at about 50, pre-delay at about 4 milliseconds, and then the mix at about 10% or something, because the more mix, the farther away it sounds like.
And now I'm free to do whatever I choose.
So this acapella is a bit sketchy because you have tons of vibrato in here, and that sounds a bit weird, but we can try either way. So what you want to do first is pick out the parts you like from the acapella. This part would go nice with the pitch bend part over here. That's nice. One tip is that when you're doing vocal chops, try not to like use the same sample over and over again, because then it's gonna sound repetitive. So you want to pick out some of the parts that has like the pff, or like the tss, or yeah, like the wah, or like oh, or something like that, instead of like ah, eh, e, because that adds some interesting details to the chops.
Choose and choose.
Like this one, like the chew.
And down and
yeah, so basically you're just picking out the ones you like and just leaving behind the ones you don't. And if we would count how many we have right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. So I think this should do it. So we're gonna start off with the first one, this note. Then we're gonna put this one here, and then we're gonna pitch it till we get the right tone. You know, I switched to Ableton for another reason, and that is when you chop up things, it kind of makes it unique by itself. So in FL you kind of have to make stuff unique all the time, so that's very important when you're doing vocal chops. This one was already in the right tone, so we're just gonna leave that, and then we can basically just put this over here for now, put this here, and then we can duplicate this whole thing, put it here, and we can edit the end of this, so we just have to add 2 more. And of course this sounds a little bit weird because some of them aren't really in that good of an order. Also remember to keep this in their channel. I'm just gonna let it be like this for now, because if this was something that I was actually working on an actual song, I think I would go a little bit more in detail, but this is just to show you guys what I do with my vocal chops. Also, I just realized that I put the effects on the mastering chain, but that's okay. Okay, so now we want to auto-tune this. I like to use the isotope vocal synth because it has an easy pitch correction on it. So just turn off all the effects and put the mix all the way up, and then make sure pitch correction is turned on, and we're gonna select major A because that's the root key of this melody. And if it sounds too choppy or something, just try to reduce the speed or the strength of it. Like this one, you can hear it's quite choppy. So just turn down the speed. Like, yeah, to like 58 or 60. And also don't forget to remove the sub from this, or the low frequencies. When it comes to vocal chops, I usually remove like everything beyond 200 hertz. So this is what I do for vocal chops. If you want to do the same in Ableton, just do exactly what I did with the MIDI and stuff. Just that in Ableton is way easier because you don't have to make every single clip unique. And yeah, so if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a like, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.